Go ahead and I'll call the meeting to order. We will start off with a roll call here.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
If you could.
Yeah, if we could. I was hoping it was kind of making its way back there. Are the speakers on back there? Thank you. Appreciate the effort. I was gonna say, yeah, I saw Pete walking.
Get the word, Pete.
Okay, I think we're getting down. That'll work. Just for the record, myself, Mayor McKee, Councilors Schultz, Bottom of Ehrenkamp, and Nichols are all present. And if you'd like to stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Anything from staff regarding the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, we had two updates. One was the regular council minutes from January 25th, 2024 was an update. And then the other one was item 9A, organics recycling has been updated after legal review.
Okay.
Nothing else from staff.
Anything from council? Nope. Then I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended with those two changes. Second. Motion Schultz, second Bottle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Commissioners, we have Lindsay Lind and Phil Christensen, and also Corinne, or did you switch? Gotcha. Gotcha. So we have Corinne Drummond here for planning, and Phil either in person or online.
There he is.
There's no sound out there. We can't hear any of this.
Okay.
I'll work on that.
We will have our clerk see if she can figure it out. Thank you for letting us know.
There's room up front here.
Crisscross applesauce.
There is not room up front.
Okay, and then we will go on to open forum. So Jay, if you want to walk us through that.
Yes, Mayor, I've had two public comment cards that have been submitted, and so if I could call first to the microphone, Mr. Mark Woda.
Good evening. I am Mark Woda, resident of 102nd Place, Bellwether Community in the city of Corcoran. I've been asked to speak today in reference to the Hunter Ridge situation by many of the residents of Hunter's Ridge. I can tell you that about 26 years ago, my wife and I moved into Maple Grove. Saw tremendous growth over that period of time, phenomenal. When we decided to move here to the Bellwether community, a lot of it had to do with the fact there was a retirement community. So common sense told us we'd have plenty of headaches ahead of us. Everything from delays, promises, more delays, plenty of construction dirt, construction noise, construction traffic. I guess the one thing I would have never imagined in my life that it'd be there 16 months and not much has changed. It's a situation where with one way in and one way out, again, that's something I could have never guessed, being a community of potentially 514 homes. And it's a situation where, as much as we'd like to enjoy our new community, it's difficult with what's going on currently. We really believe accessing Hunter's Ridge will relieve an awful lot of the headaches and the safety even issues that go on. We're retirees. Understand, that's what separates us from probably the majority of the communities that's going to be in the city of Corcoran, which means we're home. Most of us have time. We're walking, we're riding bikes, etc. And so what I'm here today asking the city is actually to make a goodwill gesture. Understand our issue, do what it's going to take, regardless of the obstacles, to get Hunter's Ridge open. It just, to me, it's about doing the right thing at that point. So we did hand out a little flyer to some of the council members, basically talking numbers. I mean, 514 homes, you're talking about over 1,000 new city residents, as well as a pretty good tax base when it's all said and done. So regardless if it's about money, regardless if it's Pulte, the city, because that's what we've been hearing. Pulte says it's the city says it's Pulte. Truthfully, we're not sure what it is. But ideally, if we could get to the bottom of it and get Hunter's Ridge open, I think the goodwill you could receive from a retirement community that has many members that have time to volunteer, time to get involved with the city of Corcoran, hopefully to help them as they continue to grow, because you got plenty of growing pains ahead, I'm sure. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Also, Mayor, there was a public comment card from Terry Lehman.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, and fellow citizens of Corcoran. I am Terry Lehman. My husband Chris and I live at 10224 Ironwood Lane, Corcoran, Minnesota. We've been residents here in Corcoran and at the Bellwether community for nearly 3 years. I wish to add to Mr. Woda's presentation with respect to Hunter's Ridge and the Bellwether issue. My focus regarding this ongoing discussion will focus on one issue only, and that is the document entitled, quote, Development Contract Bellwether, Master in Phase 1, which was executed by representatives of the City of Corcoran and Pulte Homes of Minnesota in October 2018, and certified, filed, and recorded on November 19, 2018 by the Office of the County Recorder, Hennepin County, Minnesota, document number A10611827. I'll reread that. My apologies. A10611827.
Just real quick, please.
Yes.
Hey, folks outside, if we could stop the conversation and listen, please. We're listening to each and every one of you guys. If you're not part of this discussion, if you could step outside, that would be great. Okay?
It's the police talking.
Then throw them out, Craig. Again, total respect, we've got to make sure we're listening. And it's hard to do when not everybody's doing it. Apologize for the sound not being on. I'm sorry. Thank you.
It's quite all right.
Sorry about that, Mr. Mayor.
It's quite all right. The specifics of the topic at hand are actually found in the contract. They're located in paragraph 10, subparagraphs F and G, which are found on page 4 of this document, and they state as follows. Subparagraph F states, Hunter's Ridge improvements, as outlined in the feasibility study and estimated at $200,000, will be due when Phase 4 and 5, as shown on the phasing plan, which was received August 10, 2018, is platted. Subparagraph G states, and this is an acronym, CSAH 116/Hunters Ridge intersection, as outlined in the feasibility study and estimated at $230,000, will be due in phases 4 and 5, as shown on the phasing plan received August 10, 2018, is platted. Now, the development of the Bellwether community has surpassed phases 4 and 5. Construction in the southwest part of Bellwether continues and will for some time. Given the existing contract, denial of Bellwether's access to County Road 116 via Hunter's Ridge does place
Hold on a second. Motion to extend,
Yes, she's not to her time yet, but
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion
But-
to extend.
Second.
second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. I'll make this quick. The denial of Bellwether's access to County Road 116 via Hunter's Ridge does place the residents of our community in a potentially dangerous situation should there be a natural disaster such as a fire or flood, or if there is a need for an immediate response from law enforcement or medical personnel, or in the event of an evacuation due to a national emergency. The inability of our residents to leave our community safely by connection to Hunter's Ridge and onto Highway 116 will create a bottleneck on the 2 exit points available to us, which are at Stieg Road and Highway 101 via the main entrance to Bellwether. Further, additional research on all phase-specific construction agreements shows no change or adjustment to what is represented on this issue in the development contract, the document which I have referenced in this presentation. Based on Mr. Woda's presentation, the support of our community, and the contractual agreement is outlined, there should be no further delay in completing the connection of Hunter's Ridge to the Bellwether community. I thank you for your time and attention to this matter.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mayor and council, I have not received any other public comment cards, so I would open it if there's anyone else who would like to speak on something not on the agenda. This would be your opportunity to speak.
Want the mic? If we get your name and address for the record, and then go right ahead.
My apologies, I didn't do a card. I didn't plan on speaking.
No worries. Not a requirement.
You're moved to speak.
I moved to speak, yes. Hunter's Ridge, topic near and dear to my heart.
Sorry,
My name is
we need
Jason
your,
Bartles.
there we go.
I
Sorry.
live on 19795 Hunter's Ridge. Okay, so I'm exactly on that street the previous speakers were addressing. I can't speak to the agreement. I can't speak to the numbers, the taxes, the math, any of that. I had no idea this was coming up, so I'm obviously not prepared. I can speak to what I know and what I see every day when I walk on that street. If you go down to the east end of Hunter's Ridge where that cul-de-sac is now, there is emergency access. There are 2 wooden barricades that could easily be moved. That area was paved, not paved over, but filled in for fire truck and emergency vehicle access. Because when that happened, the residents asked the city, hey, what's going on? And that's what we were told. It was specifically to provide emergency access. But if you stand there and look to the east, you see a whole lot of nothing. There's a road, there's no buildings, there's no homes, there's no residents, there's no population. Sure, if you look to the north and the northeast, lots of homes. And as far as I know, there's exits and roads to the north and northeast that can exit that development. Once that development east of Hunter's Ridge gets developed and there's actually homes there and residents that need to use that road, sure, it should be open. But until that happens, it just seems entirely premature. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Sold. Okay.
No other comments? That concludes the open forum.
Can I ask a clarification question?
Sure.
On the data?
Who are you asking it to?
Whoever produced this data.
Okay.
I did.
Are you asking, is the data in here on property taxes to elicit preferential treatment based on the fact that you believe you pay a lot of property taxes?
No, we just want to show the value that we provide to the city of Corcoran, and we are aware.
I'm sorry, could you please step up to the microphone?
gotta
so that-
step
Yeah, it's hard, otherwise it doesn't pick it up on our system.
And please state your name and your address.
My name is Ron Lidenfelser. I live on 19469 102nd Place, Corcoran, in Bellwether. I obtained that data from our Bellwether newsletter that just came out 2 days ago, as far as the quantity of homes, homes sold, homes in process of being closed, homes to be sold, total quantity of lots. And the revenue, we looked at the Corcoran City Council budget, and we came up with an average of $7,000 per lot of property tax revenue from our community. And I based that on the 324 homes that residents are living in. And yes, I'm aware that the taxes will be forthcoming on some of those homes because it takes 2 years, is that correct? Before the tax.
Rule of thumb, yeah.
So this is merely an a summary of our community, a lot map, showing the streets and all the homes, and really a nice introduction of our great community and our great people, and that we are rapidly growing. And yes, we are aware that that area near Hunter's Ridge, it's still open land, but this is where 99% of the growth is going to be happening at a rapid pace. Bellwether is unbelievably growing.
I want to just interrupt.
Yes.
Your numbers are way off. The average, I believe you're looking at total, you're making an apples to oranges comparison on this chart here. And the revenue that your per home in property taxes on a $400,000 home is to the city of Corcoran is $1,800, not $7,000.
$1 million. There ain't no $400,000.
The majority of these homes are,
It says 7,000, it's not 7,000.
that's property tax, that's property
Paid to the
taxes.
city
Not
of
to the
Corcoran?
city. I
The
think he's
city
saying
taxes is not that.
that may be your overall
tax,
property
yeah.
That's your overall property.
That's
tax.
overall property tax.
But then you're comparing it to the revenue of the city's property tax. You're saying you're a huge portion of the Corcoran City total taxes collected, but you're comparing all the property taxes, which includes Hennepin County and the school district and the city. So you're way exaggerating your number.
You guys, great community, if I can add or say too, great community, great stuff. Our previous councils and mayors have put things together. They were part of that. I love Bellwether. I spend time in there with people. We love going in there and such. But also, I do also love the existing neighborhood, okay? That is Hunter's Ridge. Per whatever agreements, and I'm sure our administration is going to dig into the time and dates of everything else and get more specific and get back to you. We're going to go by those things. An interpretation of and such is a different thing, okay? But again, your taxes on your property tax statement, there is City of Corcoran. That is what you contribute to the city of Corcoran.
It's in Truth and Taxation.
Yep.
It's on the Hennepin County website.
So-
It breaks it down between.
I have the floor, John. Sorry, I'm going to cover it, and I'll try to
Fair
paint a
enough.
pretty picture.
And then John,
'Cause
yeah.
I think you all deserve context and some history that might help set the stage. So I want to begin by thanking everybody who spoke. I want to thank everybody who came. Our role is to represent residents and make sure that the city does the right thing for the residents and maintains its promises. I personally live in a new construction area. I lived in Corcoran since 2019. I know the pain and suffering that goes with living in an active construction zone. I've had my daughter nearly get hit by a car because sidewalks were closed by Lennar leaving garbage and outhouses on sidewalks. I've had bike crashes because of debris left on trails. I've had my wife sworn at by construction workers who had blocked our driveway. I've dealt with the rumbles and the beeps. So I've been there, I'm still there today, I'll be there with you for the next 18 months at least. So I know why you want what you want, and I agree with why you want it. Part of the challenge that we have in the Hunter's Ridge situation is that when Bellwether was put in place, the people who lived around that parcel didn't want Bellwether to go in, which is a normal human reaction, right? Nobody wants to live near construction. You don't want to live in it. I don't want to live in it, but it's where we've all chosen to end up. Part of the compromise that was struck when Bellwether was approved, and Kevin has spoken to this with us several times over the past few years. Kevin's our Director of Public Works. There was a promise made by the council that approved the Bellwether development that they would not connect existing streets, existing residential streets to Bellwether until very late in the process. Because just like you and I don't want to live with construction traffic, they also don't want to live in construction traffic. And it would be an even greater imposition for them who didn't choose to buy in a new construction development to have to go through that. From my perspective, I don't want you to have to deal with construction any longer than you want to have to deal with construction. But I also want to make sure that we're a steward of the promise that was made to those residents. And we need to be accountable for that decision that was made. So that's my perspective at this point. I'm open to looking at the specifics of the contract. I don't want the city to have to pay for things they don't need to pay for. I would agree with what John and Dean were saying earlier. The total amount of taxes typically is about a third of what you pay goes to the city. So it is certainly significant. You're paying a lot of taxes in general. The city gets a fair portion of that. We're thankful that we can do the things that we can do for you with that, like providing police protection, providing fire protection, providing parks and trails. Hopefully we can do some parks for you in the next year or two to mitigate some of the lack of green space that you've had. But I really want to thank everybody for coming. I hope this is helpful. Feel free to reach out to me by email. It's on the website. Happy to correspond with anybody who has further thoughts. We're always glad to hear from our great residents.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we get a list of names and everything, so we can follow up with people on specific issues, of people that spoke.
Yes, so I have their cards, Mayor.
Perfect. Sounds good. So we will make sure staff follows up and we can kind of continue conversations from there. I did have one question maybe. I'm not sure who made the comment on kind of Pulte had said city and the city had said Pulte. Do you know who at Pulte you're talking to?
No, I
Okay.
don't. I can't give you a name.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much what's been presented to us, is that the reason it's not open, because I guess for the most part, we just don't understand why it's not open. If it's about a promise to 6 residents, wow, okay. If that's what it's coming down to.
It's a bit more complicated.
I don't want to start something, Mark, but if you were one of those residents,
Oh, you better believe it.
would you be,
I gave with the pension.
would you be doing the same as what we're doing?
We're talking hundreds of people going through quite a bit.
I'm not a dummy. I am not. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, but it was an agreement, the intrusion of. I experienced all of this being an owner of 5 acres. I got involved on the planning commission in my previous community. I saw development from Cub Foods in Maple Grove all the way out to our 5-acre parcel. We had to deal with that traffic because there was no consideration of us having a rural lifestyle. Couldn't say anything about it other than I got involved with the planning commission and worked closely with the council to make sure that that city was the best I think it could be, okay? I need you guys to look at it both ways, okay? I don't want to get into debate. I don't want to keep opening this up. I'm just telling you, just like Jeremy, we are residents just as the rest of you are, okay? We are thinking about the entire community of Corcoran, okay? We are talking all of the neighbors, everybody that's there. We've already sat through issues where we have a big area at the intersection of 101 and Stieg Road that a development came in, and we didn't believe it was the right thing to go there. But we had a number of people from Bellwether saying, how did we even consider it? Somebody owned that property, it is zoned a certain way. We said no to that, but something is going to go there. I continually hear from folks, we need restaurants in Corcoran, we need coffee shops, we need convenience stores, but don't put it anywhere close to Bellwether because we don't want it there. That ain't reasonable. Well, thank you. I'm being very upfront and forward, and if I'm out of line, the mayor is going to hit the gavel. But I do not want to turn this into a debate or anything. I believe you all know and understand what I'm saying. I know and understand what you're saying, and I think I can honestly say all 5 of us up here know and understand both ways. Okay?
There are 2 openings on the planning commission.
We've got openings in the planning, but I don't want to turn this into a debate, Mr.
Did you
Mayor.
just get here? Or,
Yeah, I could not hear anything from out there.
okay.
They just finally got the sound on, but it's not great. But, my very quick question. I asked you earlier, when you were at Bellwether, about
Please provide your name and
Name and
address.
Souther, 10226 Elm Lane. I had talked with the mayor and the previous city administrator about connecting Hunter Ridge and then putting in the emergency vehicle stakes so that emergency vehicles could get into Bellwether from the other side in case of emergency, but it would not put the construction traffic through. And I did not hear back on whether that was a viable plan or if you had considered that or not.
Sure, I can address that quick. I spoke to Matt, I believe, after that. Kind of the way emergency access works in an active development too is that it won't necessarily be the same place throughout all the phases of the development, and as the development grows. We've done it, and I think we continue to make sure that it meets the requirements for access anywhere that people could be, that fire feels comfortable that they can get their equipment and vehicles in, police can, and from an engineering perspective that those vehicles can get in. So we continue to verify that and make sure that we're not hitting any blind spots where we can't get to people, or where they feel they can't get to people, because they're the subject matter experts on that.
Mr. Mayor, I think Mr. Bartel indicated that it's in place. I wanted to confirm, either Kevin or Matt, is that in place for emergency access if it was needed now?
It's the full section minus the pavement and curb, so it's a full section of road minus the pavement and curb.
The base, everything is
So
there.
basically the base, it's a fairly sturdy gravel road. Just needs pavement on top of it.
And the breakaway orange fencing and 2x4
There's-
construction is,
Yeah, I think there's just fencing up. I don't know that's breakaway fencing, but I think if an emergency vehicle could easily move it.
yep.
And we also have excavators and other loaders that we can open it up in a situation when asked by public safety. So, not that we expect that, but we have that equipment in our arsenal if it ever came to that type of situation.
So, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
I kind of want to apologize. This is my 8th year here, and when I joined the council, there was one new development in progress, and we have had like 10. And it seems like how this goes is there's a new development, and the people that live around it don't like it at all. And then halfway through the new development going in, the people that live there complain about the construction traffic. And it's sort of frustrating because when you guys moved in, you created a bunch of construction traffic also. And it's just it's really challenging, and I don't have an ear for, and I apologize for this too, but I don't have an ear for throwing how much you pay in property taxes around as if it should. In my opinion, we're all equal under the eyes of the law, and I too am excited that you're here. Active 55-year-olds, and I enjoy it, and it's appreciated. You've got to give patience to the development that you started to finish, and I think it'll turn out great. But for here and future, it's kind of the same. We hear the same story with every development. People don't like them. People don't want them. Halfway through, people complain about them, and most of those complaints are the people that live in them. It's kind of gets a little frustrating.
But I enjoy the predictability.
That's the Jeremy comment. Okay, well, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
We really have to kind of resist the one back and forth, but if there's one follow-up, I can allow it, and then we do need to move on.
I'm Chris. I live at 10224 Ironwood Lane. Last name is Lehman. Jeremy, the story about 6 residents having a promise to keep us off their road, I'm asking if that's documented anywhere.
I'll defer that to Kevin, but it's been referenced in previous meetings, so I
Certainly in
believe
minutes
so.
and discussions,
Because I think if we had that, we would better understand that. But to base what's going on to the contract, that you're saying, not until every house is built, every lawn is green, every bicycle's on the path, then we can open up that street.
I don't think we said
That's kind of
that.
what the promise sounds like to me.
Don't
And I'm
think-
asking for documentation on that.
Don't think we said that.
Okay.
No, he's just,
I know.
but
Fair question.
That's-
Fair
okay.
question.
I can work on, and with staff and trying to find some of the context there, and there might be some videos on our YouTube, of past meetings as well.
Mayor, if this is permissible, I've been working with Ron and we've been talking about this, and if anybody else would like to be included, Ron could get that. As we work to provide that data, when we find it, we could distribute it through those channels. I also, for those of you who haven't met me, I'm your new city administrator. My name's Jay Tobin, and I actually think that this is pretty exciting to see you all here. I mean, this is democracy in action. So people coming in and taking, and I do want to say we do have 2 openings on the Planning Commission, if there's any candidates in here.
There's some specifics on that.
Michelle is our city clerk. That information can be found on the website in order to find out how to apply. I will work with Ron